Perennialist.
Okay, now that could have a lot of meanings. You know, a perennial is something that grows constantly, like tulips. And I don't think I'm being accused of being a tulip. In this particular case, I suspect what they mean is a follower of a very annoying individual called René Guénon. There's a name for you people who like perennialism, René Guénon. He was a Frenchman, as you might guess from the name, and an individual who did something that I really loathe. He started out as Catholic and he ended as Muslim.
Wow.
Yeah, Sufi. So calling me a perennialist is kind of annoying, but let me explain a little bit about perennialism, and I'll see where I think I know where they're getting at. Not that they think I'm a Sufi.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's it. Or that they think I'm kind of weasel-looking, because René Guénon looks a little like a weasel if you see his pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens. You know, people can't help how they look.
Okay.
I can't help these jowls, you know.
That's okay.
Anyway, no, the perennialist believes that there is an underlying tradition, a religious tradition, that is to be found more or less in every religious tradition of man, and that it's purer and more closer to the source in some than in others. Guénon came to the conclusion that it was purest and truest in Sufi Islam. Now, that I utterly reject. But I will say that it is looking at the whole thing from the wrong end of the telescope.
How is that?
Well, obviously there was an original revelation given by God to our first parents. And obviously it survived in a more or less corrupt form amongst the various peoples of the earth. But in a pure form only among the Jews. You know, we've heard of the covenant with Noah and the covenant with Abraham, right? Well, remnants and bits and pieces of this original religion are found in places you wouldn't expect. So, for instance, Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, is called a priest of the high God. Well, he wasn't a Jewish priest. What was he a priest of? And ditto Melchizedek. There was an antique religion predating Judaism, from which Judaism came, and of which was the purest exponent. More than that, I can't say, and I don't think anybody else knows either.
Okay.
But bits and pieces of it have survived here and there, so you'll see them, like the Trinitarian nature of the Godhead in Hinduism, or the three dominant gods in Greek and Norse mythology. And there are other things that survive from that. The idea of a God that dies and rises again, a God born of a virgin. These things are scattered throughout the religions of mankind. Whether or not they're survivors of that original revelation, or simply because, as Tertullian says, the soul is naturally Christian, and so they're sort of embedded in our mental DNA, so to speak. Which or either or both of those, I don't know. However, where the perennialist would see these things as ends of themselves, for the Catholic, and so for me, to the degree that they have any value, it is as a preparatio evangelium, a preparation for the gospel.
Okay.
That is to say, something that missionaries, when they're attempting to bring a people to the true church, the true faith, can build upon. Rather like St. Paul talking about the unknown God in Athens.
I see.
It's that kind of thing. So, if by perennialist you mean a follower of René Guénon, or the believer that all the religions of mankind are salvific, no. If by that you mean a believer that once upon a time there was a common religion to all mankind, yeah, absolutely. But that religion is only true and pure and preserved in its fullness in the Catholic Church, outside of which it is not salvific. So that's the perennialist. What's your next one?